Batman's here. He's thinking about things. He's thinking about how unlucky he's been so far this year for nickel box hunts. And in fact, he's even said that he'll go back behind the desk and live there if it would bring me more. Well, we're going to give Batman another chance because I happen to think that he's lucky. He's such a nice guy, too. Let's get going. Hey folks, it's Silver Chupacabra, and with Batman and his luckiness, as we have talked about, he's going to bring us some fame and fortune in this nickel box hunt. Maybe it's just the fortune part. Well, how about an odd Civil War nickel or two? I'll take that. Anyway, we're going to be hunting some nickels, folks. I don't care if we get a V nickel, a Buffalo nickel, or some more of these. Maybe some more of these. What are we at? $6 on melt value on Civil War nickels now? That has got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but that's where we're kind of at. Key dates, like the 38S and the 1939D, would be very much, well, liked. And if we do that, we're filling this out. This would be the second book filled out within the last calendar year at least. But that will be the first of this year. And that's all we need to fill this out, folks. I'm looking for anything. Varieties would be nice as well. So the question will be, will this man be lucky and get us some finds from this nickel box? He's planning to go into exile behind the desk if we don't find anything. So let's go ahead and open her up and see if we've got any enders that are going to be enticing. Okay, so here are the top enders at least. Didn't see anything of major value, but I definitely see some maybe some older type reverses and obverses in here. Definitely circulated, which in the past couple of hunts we've had some interesting boxes come by that predicated that I actually open up other boxes. In other words, we've had uncirculated ones. Whole box of 2025s and a little bit over half box of 2024s. So anyway, looks interesting. I'll tell you that. We're going to go to the first one here and see what we got. Yeah, looks like a 73 or a 75 there. Yeah, one looks a little bit newer. Probably in the 2000s somewhere in there. Anyway, we're going to check that out first and get going on it. And on to the second roll of this new nickel box search. I would say about beginning, yes. In the beginning, we do have a last year, 1939. Last year as being in the decade of the 50s. It's pretty good shape. Fortunate about the scratch on his collar, shoulder blade there, but other than that, pretty good shape. Probably going to be a D for Denver. Well, I take that back. My. Philadelphia. And that's it. Just like the obverse, the reverse is in pretty good condition too. That makes a little more sense on the Philadelphia side. Anyway, still have the whole rest of the roll to check out. Yeah, we're on to roll 7, and I don't know why I did not see this in the roll itself. Uh, you would think I would actually notice something that has sides to it. Hey, look, we've got another foreign coin in a nickel box, or a nickel roll in this instance, I guess. Here she is, Miss Elizabeth. I believe I've had one of these before. I forget how many pence this is, but there she is, in all her glory. Very cool. Let's take a look. 20 pence, it looks like. In 2004. Very cool. I believe the second one of these I've ever found. But always cool to get, as I said before, nice foreign surprises in nickel box ounce. Very, very cool. Okay, roll 9 is on the sly here. And right down here in the back, we actually have a second-year Jefferson sitting out here. Pretty toned, too. It's an interesting tone to a 39 Jefferson. The detail is really not there, but it is there. I don't know. The font, or at least the numbers and the lettering, is good, but the head of Jefferson isn't. Usually when there's not a lot of detail, it's going to be Philly. But a D or an S would make it a key date. A D would actually be a hole filler, which would be massively cool. Do we have anything? Oh, yes! Very, very cool. I don't know, the tone of this just had something different to it. The detail is not there that I would kind of expect for a key date, but tell you what, man, the tone does. It just seems different to me. I don't know what it is. 39D, and that is one of the ones we needed filled. We need a 38S now to finish that book out. Very cool. Always very cool to get a key date. Very cool. We'll still have to check into the rest of this roll. Okay, still on roll 9. And we have got 19, if I can find it. There we are, 1946. So the second find in this roll, we just found a key date. 46 would not be a key date. In fact, no mint mark will make it a key date or a semi-key date, but it's a decent condition. I would think there's at least a D on here or some kind of mint mark. No, it's just going to be plain old 1946. We will check for Mr. Henning's little notch there, just to make sure that it's not counterfeit, although we'd love to find one, I'll tell you that. It's in pretty good shape for a Philly. A little dirty, though. Well, we still have just a little bit more to check out. On to row 16. And we've got 6 finds already with a key date in there, which is pretty cool. We're going to add a couple to get to 8, because sitting in this row, we've got that one there. And we've got a 54 sitting right there. Very nice. Let's do the 54 first. There it is. A little bit of gunk near the front of his lapel. Got a bit of wear there. Thinking D. D it is. We got a 54, and here's 48. Got a bit of tone to it, but I wouldn't say this is the tone I usually see in these late 40s. Doesn't have that orangish glow. Quite a bit of wear there as well. If there happens to be an S mint mark here, this would be a semi-key date. I'm doubting that's going to happen. In fact, we're going to get nothing there. So it is Philadelphia 48. Looks old, that's for sure. And there we go. So 8 finds now, and we still have this whole roll to check out. Okay, looks like we're about halfway through this nickel box search. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but we are going to have our 9th find, if I can find it. Somewhere in here. Should look for earlier. There we go. It is one of the later 50s, 1957. So that'll be the first time we've had the 57 in here. Let's say we've had plenty of 59s. A few of those come through. Just didn't video it. Anyway, decent shape, but it's got a little bit of a circle of D's on the top there. Should be a D. And it is. There we go. That is 9th find. A little bit left to check out. Hopefully something's there. Roll 26 has been laid out. And I saw this one kind of peeking through. It does have a mint mark. And I'm thinking that is a D. Oh, sorry, down here. Pointed up there for. But the tone kind of says to me that probably going to be older than a 1964. So, yeah, I would say the wear there says that as well. Usually with that type of tone, which has got a little orangish in there, orangish brown. That's usually the late 40s. Not always. But we will find out. It actually will be from the 40s. And that'll be late 40s, 1949, Denver. A lot of wear in the hair, but it's in decent shape. So we've had almost all the late 40s show up, except for 47. But who knows, it might actually show up in there. 27th roll, and it's kind of starting to heat up again. This is the 3rd roll in a row. We're going to at least get something. There was that 5 in 1952. There are no semi-key or key dates for 52, but I don't think we've had a 52 yet. I might be wrong. And we'll have a D mint mark for that. No semi-key or key dates. Sorry, I was just checking the one that I do have up here. It's a 53, so nope, no 52s. Very cool. Well, I've got some interesting ones there. We'll find out if there is anything to them. Okay, I just laid out roll 30 flat on the mat. I didn't see anything abnormal when I had it in its roll, rim-wise. But check out the 2nd nickel there in the roll. It's got a big old gigantic P there. This is going to be a Silver War nickel, folks. Very, very cool. Anytime you see a gigantic letter above Monticello, it's going to be a Silver War nickel. They were made between late 1942 and 1945. Currently, silver melt-wise, this is a little bit under $5. This is February 2nd, and, well, silver went down a little bit. It was over 5 quite a bit there. But anyway, very cool. Let's see what the date is going to be here, folks. What do we have? A lot of wear there, by the way. 1943, by the way, would be most probable here because it was the most minted. Doesn't mean it will be. 1942. Very cool. 1942 Philadelphia silver or nickel. And yeah, that's a lot of wear. Hey, we are on the back end of roll 37 of this nickel box search. And the 1948 pops up. This will be the second one. Cannot remember what we had earlier, whether it was a plain or a D. No, it wasn't an S. S would be a semi-key date if it happens to be one. This one's pretty worn. I'm thinking probably not. And it isn't. It's plain, so Philadelphia it is. So, 1948, I believe that is fine 16. We'll do some quick math here. 16. 16 it is. That's interesting. Whether those are tire treads or something. Anyway, that is the end of that roll. Let's go on to roll 38. Okay, we're on that last row, 10 rolls, roll 41. Just laid out the roll. And I would say, 3 nickels in. That one looks pretty old. 1953. We have had a 53 earlier. I cannot remember if there was a mint mark. I think there was a D. Let's see if we have any mint mark going with this. We do not, so that is Philadelphia. A man named Henning did a little bit of counterfeiting back in the day. 1953 is one of the dates, or it's possibly the last date that he actually did. So if so, I should be seeing an indentation in the right leg of the R there. My perspective when we say right leg. I do not see anything there. We'll weigh it just to make sure. When the dies were a little bit newer, that indentation didn't really exist, so it could look just like that. Probably not. I wish I was a hitting nickel. Anyway, whole lot of nickels to check out. 2 rolls left. Roll 48. We are going to get a couple more here. That'll take us over 20 finds for this nickel box search, which is pretty cool. I think we're about, 9 in here for the 1949. Nice tone, by the way. Very, very nice. Decent detail, but the upper parts of the relief there with the hair, definite wear. Let's see what we got, if we've got anything. Do a mint mark D. Now the next one, I'm just kind of making a guess. I'm looking at that head, and it's like, there's just like no detail whatsoever. My thinking is, yeah, we're going to have something there, 1941. Hey, finally got one. Hadn't had a 40 or 41 up till now. Decent wear. Probably got to be Philly, maybe Denver. Philly it is. Very cool. Well, still, have that rest to check out. Excuse me, we have 21 finds. Okay, so there's the big empty. We are done with this nickel box hunt, and we had a good one. 21 finds in all, as you can see, nicely spread out. And 3 goodies, I would say. I was going to say decent, but, they were very good. Let's start out over here. We've got a 1941 Philly. We've got a 1946 Philly. I have measured that. That is not a Henning nickel. 48. We got a Philly and a Denver. 49, a couple of Denvers. 52. We've got a Denver there. 53, 2 Phillies. I've measured both. No Hennings. 54 Denver there. 55, not 57, sorry. 357 Denver's, 58 Denver. And what's interesting is you don't usually get Phillies on the late ones. 259 Phillies. They were, I believe, less minted than the 59Ds. 359Ds, by the way. And then the big kahunas for this very cool hunt. We have a 1939, but it's not a Philly. It is a Denver mint mark, folks. That is a key date, and that is going to be a hole filler, which we'll show here in just in a little bit after checking out for varieties. Got a 1942, not a Type 1, it is a Type 2, and it is silver, folks. Big P up on top, and very worn. And we got 20 pence. This is the second one I've seen in a nickel box, and did not see the sides on it until I actually got it laid out. And as you see, I made the fault of doing a top to bottom turn instead of a side to side turn on that, and that's why it was backwards, or upside down, I should say. 2004, very cool. So we'll check these out for varieties, and well, we got at least one collection book to look at. Okay, well, we're at collection book time, and we've got one nickel to pop in here. We had two that are unfilled in this primary, which was a secondary last year. And remember, 39D. That will fit very nicely in there, folks. So let the cat hair off of there. And there it is. Got one left. Very, very cool. I guess, but the 39D is the second rarest of the Jefferson Nickels, other than the 50D. You know, we found more 50Ds, but anyway, that is the second 39D I found in nickel box hunting. I need a 38S. It just so happens that 38S was the last one I found for to fill the book from last year. So I've only found one. The second one will obviously fill this. Anyway, that was awesome. 21 hits and 3 really cool finds out of those hits, and some interesting looking coins. A lot of wear on the older ones. I always find it interesting, you know, the dynamics. But anyway, what's next? Well, that could be either more Jefferson Nickels, because, you know, our pennies are not there. I still have a bit of a penny box to fill before I even hunt a penny box again. That'll probably be by the end of February, I'm hoping. Don't quote me on that, please. No Buffalo Nickels this time, so I'm hoping to get back onto that deal the next time out. We, you know, with a key date and the Civil War Nickels are 2 great finds. Can't ask for more than that. Can't ask for more than what I got. If I can find one of those, that's awesome. But we're done. We're gone. We'll see you next time out. Maybe a dime box. I don't know. Well, let's see how it goes. Later, Gators. See you next time.